I guess I'm bringing this forward. We spoke about this in a bit last podcast. We've had trouble in the past week with the Declan Rice stuff. Yeah. We're talking here about Edu, the sporting director, Edu Gaspar, right?
Yeah.
Edu and his ability, or maybe his team's ability and the finances, whomsoever you want to call out. But I guess Edu is the face of that department.
100.
His ability to get deals done. We're in the midst of the transfer season now. So I guess really we should give him grace up until the end of this window. That particularly Mikel Arteta has said, you know, we have to nail this transfer window. That was Arteta's words.
Yeah.
So obviously he's looking at his right-hand man, Edu Gaspar, waiting for him to nail these deals that both of them have been discussing.
Yeah.
Like I said, they have been doing a fantastic job thus far. But let's be honest, there's allegedly been a lot of deals they didn't get over the line. Some alleged, some we just straight up know they didn't get it done. Alleged ones, I would say, would be Vlahovic, way back when we wanted him. Didn't get it done. He went to Juventus. It led to 6 months later we bought Gabriel Jesus and they got away with it. Let's be completely honest. Like,
definitely simple. Yeah.
Martinez from Ajax was the first choice option for what we see Zinchenko doing now. We didn't nail it. Zinchenko came in as a second choice, got away with it.
Yeah.
Mikhailo Mudryk in January just gone. You know, Arsenal went to the wire. They really tried. Obviously, that one was very evident. They really tried to the point where Arsenal said, this is ridiculous. You man are drawing us out. This is too much peas. They left it. They went for Trossard and got away with it.
Yeah.
Declan Rice. And Declan Rice, this deal is going to eclipse everything I've just said in terms of the people, the funds, etc., etc. We might be a couple weeks early answering this question or trying to answer this question, because I guess a lot of it, the answer will lean on what happens with this Declan Rice deal. Do you think Edu is a good sporting director from what you've seen thus far, and obviously the evidence I've just laid with his ability to get deals done, or not?
I gotta take. I think, you know what? I would say I don't think he's a bad one. Now I don't know if that's answering the question, but it's like if I was to say yes, he's a good one. I can't say that generally, but I know he's not a bad one because I know he's put across good deals. I mean, he brought us Martinelli. He did bring us, you know, all these other signings, all these other second options who have been great and we've loved. So, you know, that makes me feel like, well, he can't be all that bad. But at the same time, you do have to start questioning when you want to get your star man, can this man pull it across the line? And also when it comes to selling, which Arsenal have been notoriously bad for prior to Edu. You know, think about, and obviously there was matters that kind of made things go a certain way. You think about the Henry deal, you think about Fabregas, you think about, you know, the list goes on. Who else? Like, you know, Sanchez going for the swap deal, Van Persie, you know, all these are stars who we just, you know, Adebayor, like, and even though you could say maybe at the time we got good money for them, but, you know, you still look back and think, oh, we could have squeezed a bit more, you know. You think about good sales in the last couple seasons, and you again, my mind goes to Iwobi and Oxlade-Chamberlain, and I don't know, maybe there's one I'm missing, but those are the only ones. I mean, again, before we started recording, and this is the thing, you have to kind of take social media with a pinch of salt because again, we don't know this for true, but apparently we valued Balogun at 35 million, and that's just ridiculous to me. You know, that's absolutely, he shouldn't be going for anything less. And again, you can say my point is that he is not worth 50 million pounds. Of course he isn't. But in this market, he's worth 50 million pounds. I'm sorry, a number 9 who's scoring goals in a world of football devoid of strikers who are scoring goals. I'm sorry, like, he has to go for nothing less than that. Now, of course, I don't know that to be true, but this is how you can get triggered by social media. So in that sense, you still got to think, is Edu good at selling players? But obviously getting this Declan Rice deal will go a long way in his relationship with the fans. And especially in terms of getting your number 1 choice, you know, because no one can say if we signed even Caicedo, that, you know, and he was amazing for us, and we didn't miss Rice. But still, the fact remains that, yo, bro, you didn't do what you set out to do, and you just get lucky, or, you know, you just have a good second option. But, you know, it's better to just go for the second option then, you know, don't go for the first one. So is he a good sporting director? It's undecided, but he's definitely not a bad one. But yeah, there's still a lot left to be decided. But I don't know. What do you think?
You want to hear my answer?
Yeah.
Is Edu Gaspar a good sporting director? No. Edu Gaspar is a great sporting director.
Oh wow! Let me adjust my headphones, because this is not. I wasn't expecting this.
I think he has done an excellent job at Arsenal. And yes, it's, you know, it's a team effort. It's down to the scouting department, those that are doing the talent ID and stuff, and him getting the deals done. I think fans are forgetting where we're coming from, because let's be honest, especially over the last 2 to 3 years, we're Arsenal in name, when we haven't been Arsenal for a long time. And I would even say, and not to talk down on my club, but I would even say we're helped by the fact we're in London.
Yeah.
Because if we weren't in London and we've been performing how we've been performing in the last few years, Lord knows who we could have attracted and who would want to come and all of that kind of thing. Vlahovic didn't come. Again, we don't know how deep or how much we actually really chased him or anything like that, but he went to who he believed to be, you know, Italian champions from the league he was already in. I'm pretty sure AC Milan won the league that year anyway, didn't
yeah.
So he still ain't won the championship, and his performances have kind of sucked still since he's been there. So it just was a bad move all round for him. You know, we went and got Gabby Jesus, someone that knows the league, hit the ground running, and yeah, that was the backup, an effective backup. Martinez as well, like, I feel he maybe just joined Ten Hag because he previously knows Ten Hag.
Yeah.
But again, Zinchenko comes in. Mudryk was just an absolute draw out for peas for like
100.
Like, I mean, I can't lie. We all wanted Mudryk.
Of course, yeah.
We were all tentative as to how much we should really pay for a player that had a good 6 months in the Ukrainian league.
Yeah.
Like, so they done the right thing in not being drawn out, because I think even when that last Chelsea bid came in, Arsenal they said that funds are available to match it. They just chose not to.
Yeah.
It's ridiculous at this point.
Yeah.
When I got Trossard. And then of course now we're in the midst of the Declan Rice saga. And of course there's been players in between as well which they've got things done. And like I say, being in London helps.
Yeah.
So some is definitely the pulling power of wanting to play for Arsenal, what's happening at Arsenal right now. Some is obviously just London as somewhere to stay. Again, I'm mentioning London. If Arsenal wasn't in London, does Declan Rice choose Arsenal? If Arsenal was somewhere else, like up north, and there's Man City up north, he probably chooses City, right?
Be real.
So yeah, I think for where we have been as a club, he's come in, the work he's had to do, the players he's had to make sure come in. Like, I just have to rate what his team, whether that's Arteta and scouts, whatever, I just have to rate what they're doing, because correct me if I'm wrong, we haven't put a foot wrong yet. There's been deals we haven't got done, yes, but we haven't put a foot wrong in what has been done. And again, I think it goes more for things like it's not mainstream appeal, but doing the positive press, the kind of, this is an Arsenal legend, an invincible that's gone out there, he's put his neck on the line, like to be the face of all of these transfers and get this all done. Like, I'm the Declan Rice one would be telling, I can't lie.
No, 100%.
I might have to take back everything I'm saying if Declan doesn't go. It'll be very telling. But like to this point right now, I feel like fans are maybe being a bit harsh on Edu, just a bit, not overly, just a bit harsh. And I think we just need to realize currently, or we're coming from a place where we're just not that beast, that we once were, if we ever really were. Like before, I don't know if we were ever really a beast, if I'm being honest and thinking about it now. We were just cutting through with great football and winning trophies when we did. Like now we're trying to transform into that team again, as well as actually being a beast, a juggernaut that can, take on the likes of Man City financially, well, not financially, but target wise, So I think he's doing a good job, man. I think he's doing a great job, like with what he has. I just feel like we just have to wait and see. They God willing, there's going to be bigger deals for Declan to do in the future.
Yeah, amen, amen. Because I hear it. I mean, I think you're right in a sense where it's like, if he hasn't, even though he hasn't got the first option, at least it wasn't he got the first option wrong. He didn't get the first option and then we bought fodder. You know what I mean? That would be horrible, because that would be like, and even if these players weren't doing well, look at Martinez. He's doing well at United, and we went and copped some dead left back or something like that. So you still got to give props that even when things don't go right, you can still have a great rebound, come back stronger, and he's shown that. I guess the selling aspect is something I'm really looking at this season as well, because it's clear we're going to have a couple outgoings, and the fees that we'll be able to command will be, a big sign of that as well, because, you still see players like, you still see teams like Chelsea. I mean, just today, Koulibaly's gone. He's gone to Al Hilal for 20 million.
One season at Chelsea?
One season, big man. One season. And Napoli won the season when he bust that.
Imagine.
But, still, I know this is Saudi money, so, you can kind of talk about whether the value is still there. But for what they spent, to still say they got 20 million back out of that, and probably straight up, there probably wasn't no, that's probably just 20 million straight in the bank. So, they've been notoriously good. Even Liverpool, they've been really good. So I just think, I still want to see more of a wholesome, sporting director experience in terms of selling and buying, but definitely on the buying front, I can't knock him in recent years. I think even there's still a bad taste in the mouth, because especially when you see teams like Chelsea, like, they always seem to get lucky, players like Kante, who they would have probably had to sell at a loss, like at a serious loss because of his wages. They've managed to ship him off for decent prices to Saudi, and Koulibaly, and you're hearing Ziyech and all these players going for like half decent money. Yet we had to let go of players like Mari for pence, and Mustafi gone, no transfer, Özil gone, Lacazette gone, Aubameyang gone. All these players, like, we sold we let go of Aubameyang, we terminated, and then he's gone to Barca. Then Barca ship him back to Chelsea for like, what was it, 16 mil or something like that, or 12 mil? So
one thing I'll just say with that, like, again, so the buying side we've discussed in it, the selling side does not look pretty at all. However, I would argue for them that the selling side has been like that because they haven't recruited a lot of those players that they have sold. So, like, now you can see the profile of player we're recruiting. We know, like, if this player ever turn around and say we want to leave, we've got contracts in place, so we're not going to lose them on a free. We know when to activate those contracts. We're buying them with the possibility in mind of what his sales value could be. Like, you can see it's more thought out. These guys that we lost for free, and it's just like a shambles released from their contract, these were never guys under their regime. They didn't buy these lot in it, like, so it's just like, just get rid of this idiot.
I mean, I hear it, because it was toxic. It was crazy at Arsenal at a point, when we had these guys in Kolasinac and all these guys who were just trying to eat, like, they were just trying to get their breads, and they didn't care, because they knew they weren't part of the vision, so they didn't care. It was just about, give me my money, you know what I mean? And I hear it to an extent, but it just feels like, when just other teams just, when you just keep seeing that, I always go back to like Dom Solanke going to Bournemouth for like, was it 18 mil out of nowhere?
Yes, I'm mad. Yeah, that was.
Like, or even when Brewster went to Sheffield United for 25, like, you just think, bro, like, how are these lot pulling this off? And then you see your youngsters and your good players, just going for. We always seem to be nice or gentlemen's about it, and
you know what I mean. I was gonna say something when you said Balogun for 35 mil. And you said that's too cheap. I was thinking it's not too bad, to be fair. But now you've mentioned Solanke.
Bro, this is what I'm saying.
No, he has to go for 50 mil.
Bro, this is I've always said, like, when I put these if we had real valuations, things would be a lot, like 35 would be even slightly generous. You know what I mean? If we take into account everything, that would be like, oh, that's a really good deal. But again, when you see how the market moves, especially even, I'm sure Ajax are moving mad on the timber price because, like, hey, we just flogged Anthony for near 100 mil. There's no way you lot are going to give us 30, because the market's moved on. So we've got to add like 20% on top of the valuation, because that's where the market's at, and it's getting crazy. But that's where we are in football at the moment. So yeah.
I think, like I say, just to wrap this up, I think Edu will be judged on this Declan deal.
Yeah.
Massive deal. Biggest deal in the club's history. So he will 100% be judged on how this goes. And we see from there. And, I guess we'll see if Arteta feels that he has nailed the transfer window. Come whenever, the date is that the transfer window closes. I think he's doing a good job, but the Declan deal could be the make or break one to really see if this guy has what it takes to be a top level world-class sporting director.
Yeah, agreed. I mean, just lastly, do you think, I think for me, actually, let me just say, I think it's actually just about getting the deal over the line, obviously at a good price, but whether we pay 80 or 120, like, it's here or there, really. We know it's going to be a crazy fee. I think it's just about getting it across the line for me, in terms of just showing that, I can do these deals. I can do the big, I can do the small ones, and then getting us some good sales, whether that's this season or next, depending. But it's just about getting it over the line. We cannot see him going to City.
No,
that will rest on his head.